A new report tonight from the New York Times depicts Kavanaugh in high school as a member of a small clique of football players who dominated Georgetown Prep's work hard, play hard culture. His circle celebrated a culture of heavy drinking, even by the standards of that era. Well, the New York Times obtained a letter that Kavanaugh allegedly wrote to high school classmates who rented a beachfront property together in Ocean City, Maryland, back in 1983. In the letter, according to the Times, Kavanaugh wrote, whoever arrived first at the condo should, quote, warn the neighbors that we're loud, obnoxious drunks with prolific pukers among us. Cynthia, this guy carries a poster around with him.
Right. Well, if they're not going to look into it and he's lied about it, I mean, the fix is in. I mean, if all Collins wants to do is find out about this last third accusation, I will tell you, even though Chuck is correct, you want to track everything down. It's not. And my hunch would be it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
No, I was going to say the thing that disturbs me is that they are not having any further contact with Dr. Blasey Ford, because to me, a very credible allegation was made in that hearing on Thursday by a witness who had no reason that we know of to lie, who didn't, as far as we know, have a pattern of lying or anything. He was a very credible person with, a scholar, a PhD, a successful academic, kind of witness, you would put some stock in. I mean, testimony is that.
Why didn't they interview her?
So, well,
Okay, let me go. Let's recall.
The White House didn't let him.
She's accused him of what she believed at the time, and fair enough, because she felt, well, she was the victim. Mm-hmm. He locked the door. These two guys take her in their room. This wasn't, romancing anybody. This is taking a person they don't even really know, take them into a room, lock the door behind her, turn up the music to cover up whatever they think is going to happen or plan to happen. And she has a right to believe, as an instinctive human being, I'm in trouble here. These people are about to assault me in some way. And I have a right, and I better damn well do everything I can to escape from this situation because it looks criminal to me, and then say the guy can go on the court.
Right, and there's an important witness that FBI isn't bothering to interview, which is important to the identification. The guy that she was dating, Squee, they're not interviewing. He introduced her to that crowd, and that clique, and that is how we know that she knew him. Okay. That's an important witness.
Judge Kavanaugh said that on July 1st of that year, he went out for a brewski party, a ski party with these 5 guys. He listed all the guys we went boozing with.
Right. They should all be interviewed.
And now he says, I don't remember anything like that. He wrote it in his diary, Chuck. There's evidence to begin with that he recorded it.
And Cynthia's right. They should all be interviewed. One caveat. We talked about this all the time when we were talking about the Mueller investigation. You always save your most important witnesses for the end.
That's true.
You work up the ladder, or if you prefer a different metaphor.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that for sure, but you work from the outside in. And so maybe, just maybe, they're talking to everyone else first and saving the most important witnesses for the end. I hope that's the case.
If it's not, the FBI is going to be blamed, because despite what you say...
That's unfair.
It's unfair. That's because you say it's unfair. But the FBI is supposed to be, the FBI in peace and war. They're supposed to look out for us. They're supposed to protect us.
Right, but they can't.
And now you're saying they weren't, what are they, private guards?
But they can't do what they're not authorized to do, Chris.
But there'll be memos to the file.
They're authorized, if they do work.
Why don't they quit? Why doesn't Christopher Wray quit and say, I didn't come here to be your personal bodyguard?
There's a long-time standing protocol between the FBI and the White House for background investigations, not for criminal, but for background investigations where the White House is the client. And so if they want it reopened, you reopen it. If they want to just talk to Chris and Cynthia...
Well, why does the Congress make them our clients? Because they're the ones that ask them to do this.
Because that's not... Well, because it's really... The nominee is the president's nominee.
Okay. I think there's bug... I'm sorry, Chuck. I think there's a buck pass here. Okay, the FBI will pass the buck to the president, say, we got a narrow directive here. The Congress will say, well, we asked him to do an investigation, or we weren't going to vote, but we didn't know that he was going to narrow it. Gene, talk to politics of this, because it looks like it's very possible to come Saturday night, they'll confirm this guy, and Flake will say it was the president who narrowed the investigation. Susan Collins will say, I wish he'd asked more questions. I guess the FBI wasn't their fault. It was his fault, and they still vote for the guy.
Well, no, then the focus is on Flake and Collins and Murkowski and other Republican senators who are going along with such a charade. I mean, because it's kind of obvious. You can't just say, well, the White House, we demanded. They demanded.
They did it.
On pain of voting no.
Right, it
They
wasn't Trump's
demanded.
idea.
Exactly. They demanded an actual investigation. So if they don't get one, how are they going to?
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to get one.
Well, after
Cynthia.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.